Mustang fans, are you ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Four for the first down, won't need it. It's going to be another Mustang touchdown.
The following is a West Jones High School presentation of the Mustang Network.
He's going the other way. It's a live football. It's going to be a touchdown for the Mustangs.
They answered a call. They brought the juice the whole season. We got great kids that's going to work hard and make our community proud.
And that is a 62-yard touchdown for the West Jones Mustangs.
The West Jones Mustangs finish off a 14-0 season and are state champions once again.
Happy Halloween, Mustangs, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the West Jones Football Coaches Show, sponsored by City Home Center and Ruby's Home Furnishings. Our Mustangs played host to the Forest Hill Patriots this past Friday night. Matt Reid is down at the field with the highlights. Matt?
Thanks, Rich. Since falling at Jackson Prep on October 4th for the program's first loss since November 2022, Mustang football notched a key region victory against the Terry Bulldogs, followed by the ever-important bye week. Last Friday night was a matchup of your 6-1 Mustangs hosting the 1-6 Forest Hill Patriots. Coach Hicks and Easterling getting their defense ready early, but it was the Mustang special teams that would strike first. Strange play here as Harrison Pierce takes the bad punt out of the air, runs through a would-be Patriot tackler, and he's going to take it the distance. 54 yards to put the Mustangs out in front, 7-0 early. Next possession, Forest Hill pulls off a perfectly executed fake punt for a big first down. Tootie Lindsey going to make a huge touchdown-saving tackle, though, and the Patriots' drive would stall. More Lindsey, this time at quarterback. He pulls the ball and takes it 46 yards to the house. No one's going to catch him. Really nice seeing Tootie back from injury. Mustangs over 200 yards rushing on the night. But Forest Hill, down 14-0 here, would answer with a big play of their own. That's the Patriot running back busting loose for a 73-yard touchdown run. Patriots would miss the extra point. 14-6 Mustangs. Early second quarter, West inside the Forest Hill 10, and that's big Elijah Jones running through a defender for 6. Cruz McKee's PAT was good again, and West's lead was 21-6. Ensuing kickoff, though, Forest Hill answering yet again early on. The Patriots kick returner finds a seam, and he is off to the races. Alexis Avalos can't quite catch him. Definitely a night of huge plays for both teams Friday night in Soso. Next possession for the Mustangs. No surprise to anyone in the stadium, but it was another big night for Elijah Jones. He carries so much of the workload week in and week out for this team, and here he makes it look easy. 45 yards as he walks in for his second touchdown of the game. Just a few minutes remaining before the half. That's Hudson Pearson at quarterback. He throws a dime to who else but Tootie Lindsey. Number 7 for the Mustangs was electric all game, 50 yards after the catch here, giving West Jones a comfortable halftime lead. They would cruise to a 55-20 victory and improve their record to 7-1.
Thanks a lot, Matt. We're pleased today to be joined now in the studio by head football coach Corey Reynolds. Coach, thanks for stopping by this evening as we discuss last week's game and look forward to this upcoming game with PRC. Coach, Forest Hill this past week, what a weird game. Just some things I noticed from my vantage point. Your punter recovers an onside kick, Leo Stinson. Your quarterback is making tackles on kickoff return with Hudson. And your QB1, Tootie, is catching touchdown passes all over the place. Coach, overall, what did you think, or how did you think your team played this past weekend versus Forest Hill?
First quarter was very, very weird. We ran 2 offensive snaps in the first quarter. They had a long drive, ended in a block punt. Harrison Pierce scooped it up and got a nice touchdown run out of it. They drove the ball again, linked to the field, had a fake punt. Tootie made a great tackle on the sideline, scared all of us to death. Then we held them. Then we ran 2 plays, quarters over at 7-0. And then you fast forward to halftime, we're up 42-12. And so we got on track in the second quarter, played ball like we're supposed to, gave up a long run and gave up a long kickoff return, and kind of settled in and played West Jones football after that.
Yeah, minus that that long touchdown run. Your starting defense, gave up 6 points on the night. And you mentioned that it was a long touchdown run. Aside from that, kind of analyze how your defense played this week, how they kind of responded to those adverse situations. Forest Hill, with their back against the wall, sends in their punting unit. Everybody in the stadium thinks they're punting the football. And the punter just makes beautiful throw out into the flat, and they take it down deep into our territory. Tootie makes an excellent tackle right there. But looking at your defense from the week, aside from that some 75, 80-yard touchdown run that you guys gave up, what would you say was some strong points there for your defense?
Man, just getting lined up. Forest Hill, very athletic team. The record doesn't say that, but boy, you don't tackle them, you don't get them on the ground, they'll make you pay in points to get on the scoreboard. And once again, on the kickoff and on that, it was just not doing what we're supposed to do till the whistle blows. And we talk about just playing to the echo of the whistle for that 6 to 8 seconds. And the 2 times we didn't do it, they scored. And so after that, we kind of talked to them a little bit on the sideline in a way they understood, and got back on track and played West Jones defense and had a great rest of the game. Yeah,
offensively, things looked like they were clicking on all cylinders. I mean, you ran 2 snaps in the first quarter. You finished the quarter with a 7-0 lead right there on a blocked punt return, scoop and score by Harrison Pierce. But like I said, 42-12 at the half. But it seemed like every time you touched the ball, every time we had the ball, we were putting points on the board. Elijah had another big game, 3 rushing touchdowns, I believe. Tootie had a rushing touchdown from the quarterback position, had a receiving touchdown at the wide receiver position. Offensively, what are some bright spots you saw?
Thought Hudson did a good job putting the ball where it's supposed to be. He went 4 of 6. Tootie had 4 of those for 125 and a touchdown. We had 2 other drops. It's part of it. The ball went where it's supposed to go. We just got to focus and make those last 2 catches. Tootie had 2 carries for 50 yards and a touch, or 60 yards. One was a 56-yarder. He's just electric, and just got a little wiggle. And Elijah had 3 touchdowns and 140 yards. Caleb had some good stuff on offense. And so right now we're playing really good. I'm proud that how our offensive line up front is just taking pride in what we're doing. No matter what front, no matter how many they're putting in a box, it's just a challenge to them to open it up and keep Tootie and Caleb and Hudson and all of them clean every Friday night, and their jerseys are pretty clean.
Right. Your offensive line has contributed to the overall health of the team. I mean, not only, like you said, keeping those guys clean, keeping them healthy. You mentioned Tootie. It's great to see him back on the field. Last week we get him back. This week, he's doing some awesome things, but you're getting him involved in multiple facets of the game. A lot of people thought him coming in this year, strictly quarterback, he's going to be your difference maker. He gets hurt. But he comes back in. You needed him at wide receiver. You put him in there. He's making plays at wide receiver. He comes in at quarterback, making plays with his legs at quarterback.
Catching punts.
He was in on punt return. The only thing he's not done this year is be the water boy. And I believe he's probably done that in some
He would do a great job of that.
Right. How important is it for you to have 7 on the field?
If 7's not on the field, it's not going to be a good night for the Mustangs. He's one of the ones we use him as an example a lot of. You're going to play on Friday like how you practice during the week. And he practiced during the week like he's going to play on Fridays. And I wish everybody could do that. Wish you could figure out what makes him do that, bottle it, and give it to everybody, because he's a difference maker. He takes pride in what he does. He's a gifted athlete. Lord's blessed him with a lot of stuff, but he doesn't take it for granted. He works his tail off. And when Seven's not on the field on offense, it's not good for us unless we're up 40.
Yeah.
Then he needs to be over there resting.
Yeah. But, you noticed that when he was in the 8th grade, coming in, he just wanted to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So put him at wide receiver. In the 8th grade, one of the more, vivid images I have of Tootie is in the 8th grade, just darting across the middle, catching a slant pass and taking to the house from his brother Marlon.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a difference maker since his 8th grade year, and it's good to see him back on the field. Coach, thank you for that recap of Forest Hill. When we come back tonight, we'll be joined in studio by the man himself, Tootie Lindsey. Will be joining us here as our Mustang Network Player of the Week. You're watching the West Jones Mustang Football Coaches Show, sponsored by City Home Center and Ruby's Home Furnishings, right here on the Mustang Network.
Soccer has become very popular here at West Jones, but there seems to be a rise in workplace injuries.
It's all right. He's doing good. He's doing good.
Oh! Ow! Oh, my ankle! Oh!
Dad,
oh.
stop.
Oh, my ankle! Oh! I won't be able to work for weeks. Oh!
He's fine.
Oh!
If you need to update your kitchen or bath without breaking the bank, come to City Home Center in Laurel. For backsplashes, countertops, and cabinetry, let our experienced staff provide the personal service you can count on. City Home Center, Highway 15 in Laurel. Ruby's Home Furnishings is here for you, Mississippi. We have a large assortment of home decor and furniture made right here in Mississippi. Gift ideas that are sure to please family and friends. From floral arrangements and wrapping paper to bedding, pillows, mirrors, and artwork. And we can accommodate your bridal registry with the wide selection of available gifts. Ruby's is your local outlet for Mississippi made and Mississippi proud. Call or come by Ruby's Home Furnishings today, Highway 15 North in Laurel.
This is the Mustang Network. You're watching the West Jones Football Coaches Show.
And welcome back to the West Jones Football Coaches Show. This week's Player of the Week has had to battle through some adversity this season due to injury, but he's making his presence known in more ways than just quarterback. This week, he recorded a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and made a key tackle on a Forest Hill fake punt. We're excited to be joined in studio today by sophomore Tootie Lindsey. Tootie, I can't tell you how good it was, and I think I speak on behalf of all of Mustang Nation, how good it was to see you back on the field the last couple of weeks, and as you've made an impact, an immediate impact as you stepped out. I wasn't at the Terry game, but I was watching it, and when you came in at quarterback there and took that, you pulled the ball and ran it there for a touchdown, man, I think I jumped in the bleachers where I was at and just cheering, just excited to see you back on the field. Now, this past week versus Forest Hill, you had a rushing touchdown, again, a receiving touchdown. You made a tackle on a fake punt. You were in on, punt return in different ways. Describe, Tootie, what it just means for you to contribute to your team in any way that they need you, whether it's at quarterback, wide receiver, or punt return.
I mean, I just be ready to play the game. I just love the game so much. Wherever coach put me, I'm just play ball.
Yeah, it's awesome. We joked around, with Coach Reynolds, prior to the show tonight. The only thing you've not done all year is played water boy. But you may have done that on some occasions while you were out. But, you're willing to do whatever it takes to help your team win. And that's to be admired. In a society where we live, it's about me, me, me. But you're all about helping your team win, being a total team player. What would you attribute, or what position group, I should ask, would you attribute to the success on the offensive side of the ball?
It starts at the O-line. Them boys come out, got to be ready. And then after that, so it's some backfield, wide outs. Wide outs, it goes from O-line to wide outs, big blocks up front, and house calls, the wide outs got to make the blocks.
Right, and you say your offensive line. That's a group that we talk about a lot here on the Mustang Network. They don't get a lot of love. Offensive linemen doesn't get a lot of love, and they don't have stats that are out there like you guys. But what's it mean as a skill guy, one of those guys on the outside or at quarterback? What does it mean that you've got that wall in front of you, opening holes and making those blocks downfield and contributing, for you and Hudson and Elijah and Caleb? What does it mean having those guys making those blocks downfield for you guys and opening that up?
I mean, it's like I said, it starts up front. Oh,
yeah.
They do a real good job of blocking. Wide outs, they do very good. So.
All right. Well, Tootie, I've got the same question I ask every player of the week, and West Jones truly is a special place. It's a place where it's more family-oriented here, and I love West Jones. I love what we stand for here, and I love what we do. But describe briefly, you've had, brothers come through here and put on the green and gold, but what does it personally mean to you to each week put that green, that gold, this past week, the black jersey, whatever it is, what does it mean to you to be a West Jones Mustang?
I mean, I can't really describe what it means. I've been here since my oldest brother was here. He's 24. I've just been a part of West Jones almost my whole life.
Yeah, and I think I speak again for all of Mustang Nation when we say that it's just an honor and a blessing to be able to watch you on the field week after week, and we're thankful for a young man that is willing to do whatever it takes for the team to win. Thank you, Tootie, for coming in, being on set with us tonight. Always great talking with you. Best wishes this week as you take on the Blue Devils of Pearl River Central. When we come back, we'll shift gears to Mustang Swim and sit down with head coach Lyndie Lyon and swimmer Matilyn James. You're watching the West Jones Football Coaches Show right here on the Mustang Network.
If you need to update your kitchen or bath without breaking the bank, come to City Home Center in Laurel. For backsplashes, countertops, and cabinetry, let our experienced staff provide the personal service you can count on. City Home Center, Highway 15 in Laurel. Ruby's Home Furnishings is here for you, Mississippi. We have a large assortment of home decor and furniture made right here in Mississippi. Gift ideas that are sure to please family and friends. From floral arrangements and wrapping paper to bedding, pillows, mirrors, and artwork. And we can accommodate your bridal registry with the wide selection of available gifts. Ruby's is your local outlet for Mississippi made and Mississippi proud. Call or come by Ruby's Home Furnishings today, Highway 15 North in Laurel.
Hey, Marley, will you come pass out the calculators?
Yes, sir.
Thanks. All right, now that you have your calculators, let's get started on our test review.
Welcome back, Mustangs. Affectionately known around campus as the Sea-Stangs, West Jones Swim is fresh off winning its second straight Girls State Swim Championship. It's an honor to be joined here in studio today by reigning State Coach of the Year, Lyndie Lyon, and freshman swimmer, Matilyn James. Ladies, thanks for stopping by. Coach, congratulations on another state championship. You guys make West Jones proud and represent this community well, both in and out of the pool. Coach, a lot of people don't really understand, I would say, the process and the rhythms and things that go into a successful swim program. Could you kind of describe those rhythms and routines that you guys begin during the summer and into the fall season, the first few weeks of school?
Yeah, it's amazing how many people don't even know that we have a swim team still. But we do start in the summer, just kind of learning things because our season is so tight. And then we start, this year our first swim meet was the first day of school, so right out of the gate. And we do one a week for 8 weeks. So we practice before school. It just kind of works out. It doesn't interfere with any other sports, clubs. We've grown so big. There's only 8 lanes in the swimming pool at the natatorium. So we pretty much take all of them. So when you have other schools in the City League team, we were real scrunched. So we do morning and we practice every day, 1 meet a week, and then we go into South State and State.
Yeah, and a lot of times during the school year, we come in, everybody gets here 7:15, 7:20, and then a bus rolls in, and all of your swimmers are coming in from a 5:30 a.m. practice at the natatorium. So a lot of dedication that goes into it. But you guys go meet to meet, and you've just been dominant the last couple of years in swimming. What would you attribute to that success?
I think one of the biggest things is once you have a little success, people want to be a part. It's a very different sport. So I think the second thing is in our sport, everybody gets to participate every week. There is no bench where half of the time you're trying to earn your time. Every week, everybody gets to participate. And so we have a culmination of all types of kids that don't do anything else, kids that play other sports, band and show choir. And some of that is even kids knowing that they may not ever be one of our top swimmers, but they're the best cheerleaders and they're there day in and day out too. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things is everybody gets to participate.
Right. And with the success that you guys have garnered the last couple of years, and you kind of touched on it there, but what do you think that does for the future of your swim program? You said, winning breeds more people wanting to be involved. But what are some other things that you could say that winning these state championships points towards being successful in the future?
Growth helps. We didn't have an opportunity to win a state championship really until last year because it's a very different sport. You got to be able to score across the board. So I think to continue, it starts with the younger ones. Nobody knows the strokes of swimming. Everybody can doggy paddle or swim freestyle. So starting young, if you can keep them in the sport, learning the other strokes, that helps. And that's pretty much what's made us successful is playing the game. If nobody else in the state likes to swim, if we don't like to swim it, nobody else in the state likes to swim it. That's where you push. So to continue to be dominant, we just have to continue to do the small things in the things that nobody else likes.
Okay. Matilyn, one question that I have for you here. One of the more iconic photos that we have here in recent memory was from last year's state swim championship. Mr. Pope, he would admit that he didn't know a lot about swimming, but one of the more iconic photos that we have of the swim program here is Mr. Pope standing in the bleachers at the state swim championship wearing his Mustangs t-shirt and cheering you guys on to that state championship last year. What does it mean for you guys on the swim team here to know that from the top to bottom, the administration supports you guys in everything that you do?
It's good to know that we're supported and that they want to be involved and be there to cheer us on.
Good deal. Coach Lyon, same question there. What does that mean to you in looking at that photo?
Well, it's taken a lot of time. Obviously, my dad was an administrator here, so he always, covered swim, and so it's the same thing getting swimmers. People don't understand our sport, and so once they're there, they're like, man, that's actually kind of entertaining. So now, they stop by and they'll hang around, and so that was the kind of the talk was. He was asking so many questions up in those bleachers because he was like, what just happened? Because it's a very different sport, but it is very exciting. So we have the support now because they get our sport now. They are learning our sport. They ask questions. So having that support, this year Coach Reynolds was with us the entire time. It helps the kids. The kids notice. They know that they're at the other sports. So, them being seen, the administration being seen, it definitely does the kids good.
Yeah, it's incredible. That photo is probably one of the greater images that I've ever seen of any West Jones athletic event.
That was a close race. He was looking to see who was going to touch the wall.
He was all into it there. Well, Coach Lyon, on behalf of Mustang Nation, thank you for your tireless effort here. It doesn't go unnoticed. You wear a lot of hats. You manage athletic eligibility, and you deal with all that comes with that. And, you know, you still find time to demand excellence from your swimmers. So thank you for that. When we return, we'll be joined again by head coach Corey Reynolds, and we'll preview the PRC game that is coming up with the PRC Blue Devils this Friday. You're watching the West Jones Football Coaches Show here on the Mustang Network.
If you need to update your kitchen or bath without breaking the bank, come to City Home Center in Laurel. For backsplashes, countertops, and cabinetry, let our experienced staff provide the personal service you can count on. City Home Center, Highway 15 in Laurel. Ruby's Home Furnishings is here for you, Mississippi. We have a large assortment of home decor and furniture made right here in Mississippi. Gift ideas that are sure to please family and friends. From floral arrangements and wrapping paper to bedding, pillows, mirrors, and artwork. And we can accommodate your bridal registry with the wide selection of available gifts. Ruby's is your local outlet for Mississippi made and Mississippi proud. Call or come by Ruby's Home Furnishings today, Highway 15 North in Laurel.
Hey Marty, what you get? All nays again, Marty? That's so not fair.
And we're back on the West Jones Football Coaches Show, joined in studio with Coach Corey Reynolds. I'm Rich Gray, the voice of the Mustangs. Coach, let's look ahead to the Blue Devils of Pearl River Central this week. They have a new coach, John Feaster. You know, he was at Stone County for a few years and then went over to Moss Point for a year, and now he's home at Pearl River Central. How improved is the Blue Devil team on the field despite the record that they bring in this Friday night?
Coach Feaster, he's a hard-nosed type coach. He's an old throwback. Got his two boys, his nephew with him. Totally changes the dynamic of the team. They're playing harder. They have an identity. Nothing against the year before staff, but saw them early in the year play South Jones, and really just a different type mentality with the team, just how they play, how they carry themselves, even how they warmed up. So a lot better than they were last year. They're going to play hard. They're going to play to the end of the game. And so once again, it's type games I told the kids, you know, if we do what we're supposed to do, games should be over. But if we don't, they're good enough. They play hard enough. Coach Feaster's a good enough coach. It'll be a ball game in the fourth quarter, and that's the last thing we need.
Right. You know, as far as offensive schemes, PRC in the last few years has been mainly a kind of a wing tee look. What are they looking like on film to you guys?
Look very, very similar to what we do. Inside zone, outside zone, counter and power. Got an athletic quarterback that can throw and run and cause problems if you don't account for him in your defensive box count. Got a couple of guys, like I said, both of John's boys play, and got his nephew, and they're a little bit more athletic in those positions. Run to the ball on defense, really get after it. They're real multiple, so if we don't pay attention to what we're doing and making sure all those guys are accounted for, it can be one of them long drives, eat up the clock. We get into the second quarter and we've only run 15 snaps. It's a 14-0 ball game, and they're kind of in it, and it's going to be down there. It's supposed to have rain, you know, coming in later this evening. So tomorrow's game, we're going to see how the field holds up. So a lot of things play. In fact, on top of them being very athletic.
Right. And, you know, offensively, and I think I know your answer to this. I ask it every week. You give me the same answer. Offensively, okay, what do we have to do to come out of there with a win?
Starts up front with those big ones up front. They really take pride in what they do each and every week. Coach Parker and Coach Booher, how those cats playing hard. It's fun to watch them take pride in what they do. It's a thankless job. It's monotonous. Every play it's a car crash, and then you get back up and do it again. And it's going to first start up front with them. It's going to start with Hudson and Tootie and Caleb and Elijah taking care of the football, running their tracks, running through gaps, running through halves of the defender, and that's just taking care of the football. And it goes back to the 6 things, you're going to hear me say all the time, as long as they let me show up to work every day, is we got to block and tackle. And that's where it's going to start up front. We got to throw and catch and kick and cover. But for offense, I think we got a good game plan this week. Very excited, and it starts up front with those guys.
Awesome. All right, so Coach, I know everybody in the state is looking forward to next Thursday night, the 7th. Our kids are not they're not blind. They see all the noise and hear all the noise that's going on around them regarding that matchup with Hattiesburg here at home. How do you keep your guys focused on a very good PRC team?
Well, if you come to practice, you got Jonas right here recording this. I keep everything as consistently the same as possible. How I talk to them pregame, postgame, pre-practice, after practice. We talk about little things. We talk about what we can control right now. Even though that game's coming, we can't worry about that one just yet because we got the most important game we'll play this year, this Friday, tomorrow, because that's the next one. And the next week will get here soon enough, but we got to take care of ourselves this week. It's human nature. You want to go ahead and start preparing for that next. We're going to start looking, and you can't because we got to take care of this in front of us. If not, we'll miss an opportunity and be in a situation we don't want to be in.
Yeah, and looking at the region standings, we're in here with a record, of 2-0. Okay, we've knocked off Terry, who was somewhat a thorn in our side last year. This past week we knocked off Forest Hill. We're sitting pretty to host a playoff game here at the Shoe that first week, of the playoff season coming up. What's your message to your team about finishing strong?
Just looking at Jonas right now, we're always in practice with a conditioning period, and it's about finishing. When we lift weights this summer and when we ran, it was all about finishing the last set, finishing the last run. Everybody plays good at the beginning of the game. Everybody does good coming out of halftime because you had a little break. How are we going to finish the game? It's how we practice, how we finish in drills. And just seeing Jonas smile right now, that's when I get most upset and sideways at practice is late and we're starting to drag around. We're just not being crisp, not being clean, not giving great effort. And you hear it every day. And I think, anybody that's at practice, anybody that's at the game, when I get all upset and stuff, it's because of that. How we're going to finish. No matter what the score is, no matter who's got the ball, no matter what's happening, how are we going to finish?
That's right, finishing. This week, you got an hour and a half bus ride down to Carriere, almost to Picayune. Coach, it's a long bus ride, and that's traditionally not been the easiest environment to go in and play. Keeping your guys locked in for an hour and a half on a bus. Kind of go through what you coaches are preaching to them this week about staying focused, even though it's kind of a long away game, staying focused and prepared for what they're about to walk into.
And it goes back to, the 2 years I've been here, the previous years when I was at South Jones, try to be very, very consistent so there's not anything new that's changing this week. We talk about going to bed, getting plenty of rest during the week, getting plenty of fluids in you, being hydrated, get on your huddle, understand what you're doing, watching practice, being prepared, understand now it's an away game, get your umps down under the hill, let's get everything, make sure it's packed up, let's get our pregame meal and our devotion, let's get ready to get on the bus, get down there. It's going to be, now one good great thing about that, it's a tight field, they're all on top of you, but I think their field house is the closest one to the field of everyone. I think we walked 10 feet out of the field house onto the field. So that's a great thing, but it's a tough little hole to play in. It gets loud. It's trees all around you. There's not a lot of circulation down there. It's hot. We're going to have rain later tonight, so we're going to see how the field holds up and it being muggy. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. And then how are they going to respond with the possibility of not making the playoffs? Are they going to have a big crowd? And that's certain things we can't worry about. We just got to worry about what we control. And that's how we play and how hard we get after it.
We can only control what we can control. And that's great. Thanks, Coach, for that preview of PRC. This week, we encourage you, Mustang Nation, to make the drive down to Carriere. It's only an hour, 15, an hour and a half. Make that drive down, be loud, support your Mustangs. These young men work week in and week out to put that green and gold on Friday, and it would be awesome to have a big crowd for them. Coach, any final words for Mustang Nation this week as we get ready to get this next to the last game underway?
This season's going by in a hurry. I talked to our kids about how fast things happen. The days are long. The years go by quick. I mean, we're getting ready to play our next to the last game of the regular season, and it's flying by. I talked to our kids a lot about enjoying this time together with this team because it's fixing to be over, no matter if it's after the first round or after the state championship game. And so I encourage all the fans to make sure you get down there and enjoy this group of football players, managers, cheerleaders, band members, because this is the last time. This is the last few times we'll be together, and it goes by in a hurry, and then you got memories from here on out. And so I encourage y'all to get there early, be loud and proud, and cheer on the Mustangs.
Thanks, Coach. And again, thanks again for joining us in studio today. And thank you for the job that you do. Sometimes it's a thankless job as a football coach, a head football coach. And thank you for the job that you do for these young men week in and week out. Until next time, next week, you can join us here. But until next time, I'm the voice of the Mustangs, Rich Gray. I'm joined by head football coach Corey Reynolds, encouraging you to live like Cooper Pope and to remember we are West Jones.